Purpose of affirmative action, set-asides, civil rights laws, laws that limit constitutional rights to freedom of contract, freedom of association. All of that was to make up for the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. So unless these benefits are going to, you know,
Peace, family. I got some stuff, some folks that might piss you off a little bit. Okay, so listen to this tether logic right here. Yeah, some of this shit just too disrespectful.
These are the things that we should be worried about. These are the things that are going to impact your life one way.
Okay, so it's very disrespectful for a tether to tell an FBA what's important to us in our country. And like, look how snarky they do it. You know, very, very, very disrespectful, man. They're going to tell us what we need to worry about in our country. Meanwhile, they worry about nothing in their country. It's everybody over here. You know, so if we took their attitude, right? If we took their attitude, we would have never accomplished anything in this country. We would be really picking cotton. If we took on a tether mindset, we would be picking cotton right now. That's a fact. Listen to her tell us how to handle drama.
Or another, whether you see it right now or not. And there's a reason why these diaspora wars keep happening. I feel like we've been seeing them more and more often. We've been seeing xenophobia happen more and more often, especially towards Africans. It's important for us to understand why this is happening. The first reason I think that there has been an increase in these idiotic and unproductive and honestly stupid conversations is because of the orange peel of a president that we currently have sitting in office. I can't even recall anymore the amount of problematic things that Donald Trump has said within the last, I don't know, decade. The fact that it's about to be a decade and we're still dealing with this man is actually insane. It gets worse and worse and worse. So bad to the point where I feel like the bar is really low for him now. But
Tethers are so afraid of Donald Trump, and I get it. They don't want to be deported. I get it, but I disagree. I believe you should be deported. So that's why, and a lot of us believe that. That's why we're silent, and not just you. Shit, everybody who can be deported. You feel me? If you can be deported, why not?
But despite all of this, he still became commander in chief, right? Despite him being a bigot, a racist, literally everything, he is still our president. He got to be in one of the most important positions of power within our country. What used to be the most, and I say used.
My country. Okay. In your country, your president won by assassinating the other one. Okay. These guys got nerve. They take office by a coup. You know what a coup is? A coup is a bunch of rebels who stormed Washington, right? Like happened in January 6th. They stormed Washington. This is an analogy. Snatch the president up, and everybody who's with him, kill them all, and you sit in his seat. That's how these folks. That's how presidents become presidents in their countries. Some of their countries, definitely Burkina Faso.
To be what used to be the most respected role in this country, you can still get if you are a literal criminal. It goes against everything we're taught about morals and values and kindness and respect, because Donald Trump is not only showing his supporters that you can still have a
Yeah, these guys talking about moral support, and you don't even have a constitution in your country. Your country support female genital mutilation and child marriages. Are you serious? You're in no position, ma'am.
platform while being a bigot. He is showing other people who might not even support him as well that you can say all these things and still get support. You can say all these things and still not face repercussions. Another reason I feel like this is happening is a point that my friend told me while we were talking about this. She said that for the first time in US history, we are seeing that blackness can be diverse. Blackness is multifaceted, where the representations.
Now, again, they have, because they're so uppity in their attitude, they refuse to know what blackness really is in America. Okay, wherever you're from, Saudi Arabia, I don't know what blackness over there. Okay, but over here, blackness ain't just some word thrown around. Blackness represent an experience. You feel me? So, but go ahead and look. She's gonna make up a definition for the word blackness as it associates with a human being in our country. Listen to this fool.
Of blackness is not.
And yeah, this is the worst kind of tether, disrespectful, snarky. Look.
Not just African American culture, especially in the diverse. Blackness is multifaceted, where the representations of blackness is not just African American culture, especially.
It ain't. Can you show us blackness before? Because that's why, family, you got to get your hands on this right here. I hope you guys send me an email. You got to get your hands on this, because it explains what culture is, what's blackness, all that stuff. And it's free. You don't pay me nothing. Just email me, blackthinktank@yahoo.com. But once you get your hands on that, like, you're going to understand what blackness really is. It has nothing to do with a foreigner. It has everything to do with Foundation of Black Americans, those who call themselves ADOS and freedmen. Has nothing to do. What she talking about is falling on my deaf ears. Okay? She's just talking.
In pop culture and media, right? So in Hollywood, we have a ton of African actors. Within music, we have Amapiano and Afro beats. Within fashion, we have Nigerian stylists who are
right. And that has nothing to do with blackness. It has everything to do with Nigerian and whatever country you name. Nothing to do with blackness. blackness. Okay, stop tethering on to what's exclusive to us. All right.
Clearly dominating right now, even with content creating and the beauty.
Yeah, you hear this dog? Now you talking about xenophobic, being divisive. Look what she's doing. Look at the snarkiness of this. This, yeah. I don't even want to say it, man. But oh my God, that is a gremlin.
Space, we have a lot of African influencers who are at the forefront. Even in streaming, we have Jamaican Kai Cenat, who honestly, him saying that African American people have no culture is mind-boggling.
Now notice how she's separating. Now she's naming everybody but Foundation Black Americans. Wait a minute. I thought we were all black. I thought we were all African. I know she's talking about diversity and blackness, but it shouldn't be, right? If we're all the same, because they pick and choose how to use black. At one point, black means the same thing African means. And now there's diversity in blackness. Is it okay? But again, she has no idea what blackness is in America. This is her personal definition. Okay.
The fact that he quite.
So that's what this title is called. The title, we're understanding tether logic. Okay, so yes, we understand how they look at blackness. They look at blackness as a color. Like she thinks she's black because she's very dark. I'm lighter than her, so but she would call me black too. It's like, wait a minute. If you're dark skinned, I'm light skinned. How are we both black if black means dark? So and Mariah Carey is black. So that blackness means a little more than skin tone. Okay, but they don't want to have that conversation with us. That's the problem.
Literally makes a career off that same culture. And doesn't he have African American friends? Like, hello, why would you say that? And your friends are. Anyways, everyone is starting to get a seat at the table, and this might scare some people. And it might be.
You hear this dog? We're making waves in America, in our country. That's why you're mad at Donald Trump. Said, I hope he runs for another 4 years. I will. If there's a petition, we could serve 4 more years. Believe me, you will have my signature on that damn petition. I want him there 4 more years, just like Frederick Douglass served 12 years. He won't be the other. I think former President Frederick Douglass served 12 years. So it has happened before. Okay, so because people like this got to go. I'm on some old A. Philip Randolph, W. Du Bois, Chandler Owens type shit. I'm on some more Garvey Must Go campaign. And I look at her no different than Garvey. Okay, these snarky immigrants, they got to go, man. I'm sorry. They're not welcome in this country as far as I'm concerned.
Frustrating to some African Americans, especially given the fact that they have fought for a seat at the table for so long, and seeing other people grab a seat is kind of like, it might trigger defensiveness. But
you didn't deserve a seat. Like you pulled up in our table, our meeting room. This is the most disgusting display of a tether. Okay, everything about her, and I'm like really withholding some stuff. But this disgusting tether right here, man. And people like her is the reason why we want all of y'all gone. All y'all that can be deported. We want all of y'all gone. Cause this right here, the seat at the table, sitting at our table. Yeah, Foundation Black Americans fought for a lot, and now we're pulling up a seat. Yeah, that's the problem. You're pulling up a seat and it's unearned. That's the problem. You don't get that?
I need people to understand that is the point. When you fight for your rights, you're not only fighting for yourself, you are paving the way for others.
Wait, hold on. My thing froze. Hey, yo, did you hear what this tether just said? When you fight for something, you're not just fighting for yourself, you're paving the way for others. Yo, you want to talk about entitlement?
Really the point. When you, especially given the fact that
she tried to, this, believe me, this video got no views. Okay.
They have fought for a seat at the table for so long, and seeing other people grab a seat is kind of like, you know, it might trigger defensiveness. But I need people to understand that that is the point.
Listen,
When you fight for your rights, you're not only fighting for yourself, you're paving the way for others. That is quite literally the point of being human. That is quite literally the point.
What? What is she talking about? No, that's not how that works. That's entitlement. That's your nature to tether on to somebody else's accomplishments. No, when you fight for something, that's usually just yours. Okay? When you fight for something, that's usually just yours. It's not everybody else's. The sense of entitled, these entitled tethers, man.
Point of being in a community and building community, you're not only doing things for yourself, because it's not just about you, it's about everyone else too. It's never just
Okay, so this is their way to not thank us for paving the way. This is their way. No, I ain't gotta thank you. You paved the way. That's for everybody. That's the point. It's never about you. It was about everybody else you were fighting for. Even though we were not there, even though we were in our homeland, flies all around our face, starving. But that fight, man, was for everybody.
just about you, especially when it comes to activism. And to this point, it may seem frustrating, but we don't have to see the results and the effects of fighting for what's right in your lifetime. I feel like people wanting to see or get or see results of things that they do immediately is due to many things. When it comes to human beings and liberation, the hope is for future generations to live a better life. Right? You don't have to see the results of every single thing that you do. When Black leaders were,
you heard that? You don't have to see the results. So FBA, she's comparing us and them to the civil rights leaders. I see where she's going, and we being the offspring of them. So they fought and died for us to experience some stuff. So she's chalking us off as a dead martyr people. Watch.
were fighting for the rights that we are enjoying right now, they didn't know when those rights would come. They didn't know when freedom would come, but they did it anyway. And I feel like it might be easy for me to say this because of my religion. My religion teaches me to do good and to not expect anything from it in this life, to not expect anything.
This is, family. I show these diaspora wars for that right there. Okay, it's to show consistency of their behavior, and I'm specifically speaking about these people in general. She's African. Okay, yeah, I got to play this video often to remind y'all how important it is to be on code, man. If this don't motivate y'all to be on code, nothing will. She's basically saying they're entitled to everything that we do. Like they're right behind us. You know, we're doing the hard work, digging a tunnel, moving the dirt out the way, and they're going to just trail behind when the coast is clear.
Think from it for a while, actually. And I think that makes it easier for me to have this mindset. But I don't think you need religion to think like that. The idea that you and I are working towards something for the greater good that would help future generations is enough. And as my favorite Black hijabi Muslim video essayist said in her recent video, you are somebody's ancestor. You are somebody's ancestor, so act like it. When she said that in that video, that really stuck with me. And it made me think like, yeah, I am someone's ancestor. And I also had ancestors. That actually made me dig deep about my ancestors. And I remembered that I have an ancestor, literally a revolutionary, literally fought off and won French colonialists. And that in itself, like knowing that, also, I didn't agree with everything that he said. Okay, nobody's perfect. The fact that someone that is related to me has done something like that empowers me not to do the same, because like I'm in my room, not to do the same, but to make an impact, like that.
Yeah, I know people like her. I've been around people like her. They are normally just by themselves and everything they do in life, like from their religion to how to behave like that. And believe me, her mother told her every day, "You're beautiful. Oh my God, you're a model." And that's why she has the attitude she has right now. And then, yeah, this is scum with a voice box.
Think of all of your ancestors who were organizing, who were fighting for you to lay in your bed and scroll on TikTok and enjoy that luxury. Think of them, and then think of future generations, your kids, your grandkids, your great great
Yeah. Did she get this speech from ChatGPT? How to tether on onto FBA's accomplishments?
grandkids. Think of them. What are you doing right now to help them? You don't just come through this earth and just pass by and do nothing. I mean, you can do it if you want, but like, who are
Your lineage, your ancestors in your country, they actually did nothing. That's why you said, "Hey, let me flee to America as an asylee. Let me flee to America, fill out some fake asylee status application, and now you're just hoping Donald Trump does not revoke it." Okay.
wants to do that? That's so boring. Why not come to Earth, have an impact that lasts way
Bald headed
past after
walls.
you're gone? Isn't that the point? A
Yes,
third
yes.
reason
So the room lets you know how she got to this country. Her family did not come on H-1B. No, no student sponsorship, none of that. No work release, none of that work sponsorship. No, no, no. You see the room. She came here as an asylee. Okay.
why I feel like this is happening is because of the phones. It's the phones. It's always the damn phones. It's the phones. Our devices know us better than some of us know ourselves. And
No, Claude didn't say that. He said, it looks like she got cheetah pea Senate incense.
that's just the truth. And this may put you in an echo chamber where information that you already believe is being just fed back to you. And anything that contradicts your beliefs is not seen. I feel like this is the reason why a lot of people were kind of surprised. A lot of people, like myself, were kind of surprised when Kamala lost. I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I was like, wow,
Right,
I need to
Miss
break
B.
the echo chamber that I'm in, because it was brat, Kamala, coconut tree, everything. Like I was like, oh yeah, we're about to get our first woman president. Like I'm so excited. And then it was 2016 all over again. Anyways, our phones can contribute to the many cognitive biases that we can form while scrolling. One of them being confirmation bias, which is
Yeah, she was not part of the program. So as I'm like working on, everything about to get started, I sometimes I watch something in the background. I cut this on. I said, what the hell has she got to say? And I heard what she had to say. I said, oh, I gotta play this.
is when you accept things that already reinforce your beliefs that you already had. Being in these echo chambers makes us vulnerable to not only misinformation, but disinformation. And the difference between the two is that disinformation is false information that's deliberately spread to confuse people, to cause harm, to
So by the way, those are all indirect shots at us. Okay, so that you know that.
deliberately mislead. And I feel like this is where a lot of people who are like, oh, let's boycott African businesses are at. I feel like that's where they're at.
Told you. All those shots, that's at us. Yeah. That's at us, man. Yeah. Give me that petition, man. I will get Trump back in here 4 more years.
And they are a vulnerable population. Like, they are a vulnerable population. There are many reasons why they're vulnerable, but them having an algorithm and a phone and scrolling on TikTok does not help. And honestly, you can't tell me the US government isn't playing a role in this. The same way Israel was paying people to actually fight with Palestinian actors.
You hear? So now we're linking up with. Well, first of all, if we want to link up with our government, we have that's our government. Like, I don't know why they make it seem like the FBA, FBI, CIA, and ICE and Homeland Security and ATF. These are great professions. The hell she talking about? Like, you're not gonna make us hate our government and our police forces and task force and no, these are great careers. They help get rid of people like you out the country who are possibly overstaying their visas and green card expirations and asylee status rejected. They help to remove you. So if some of us are hired by the government, that's fine with me. We don't hate our government like you hate yours.
Activists in their comment section is the same way the US government will do the exact same thing to the black population, to black people. Like it is the exact
it's the same thing to do with black people.
same thing. If Israel can do it, the US absolutely has already done it. When I would read the comments, I would also check the profiles. And most of the time they look like bots. I'm not gonna lie. They look like bots.
Well, I could tell you right now, I'm definitely not a bot. Okay, I have my face showing a lot. I'm all over the net. I'm not a bot. Okay, and I agree with the comments that was getting on you. Okay.
Because what do you mean boycott African businesses? Of all the places you could boycott, African businesses? Are we being for real?
Yes.
For real? I think now more than ever, it's important for people to go out of their way to make sure that the information that they're consuming is correct. We're at a time where literacy is at an all-time low. Critical thinking is at an all-time low.
These all indirect shots at FBAs. A disgusting tether like this, who had to flee from their country, is over here taking advantage of the things we fought for, and now want to talk about literacy and IQ is low. Ma'am, don't make me do a GDP per capita on your damn country. And don't let me do an IQ, on your country to show your folks IQ. Stop it. You got some of the dumbest people in the world in your country, the most criminal.
Cannot just take the information that's being thrown at you, especially because there's so many pseudo intellectuals on it, TikTok and all these things now. Like you literally have to fact check. It's also important to note that it's not all African Americans that are thinking like this. It's a specific group online. Majority of them are FBAs, and right. FBA is a foundational Black American.
Thanks for shouting us
What
out.
is the difference between an FBA and an African American, you might ask? The African part. That's it. The majority of people who are for this boycott and who are being extremely xenophobic are associate themselves with this group. The term FBA, based on my research, was popularized by Tariq Nasheed.
Now, of course, what's my infamous phrase? They love to talk about us, but they hate to talk to us. So if I was to comment, hey, you mind we have a dialogue over this? You know she's not gonna say yes. Well, let's try it. First of all, nobody have responded to me. Hold on, okay, let me erase that. Look, I put tethers earlier. Let me delete that. I got you. I feel better when I throw the invitation out, even though she's gonna say no, most likely. The same thing when you see a bad woman. Foundational Black Caribbeans. Oh, I gotta see this one. Yeah, so
if you want a detailed video on like this whole
yeah, it's like seeing a bad woman that's like way out your league. You're like, hey man, shit, I gamble on, the casino, I gamble on the lottery. Why not gamble with this high class woman outside of my 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 league? Okay. Why not? So that's how I see my comment. She's gonna say no. I gamble on less. Why not?
FBA thing and Tariq Nasheed. I'll put it in the description. It was very helpful. I actually watched it before filming this. But according to Nasheed, an FBA is any person classified as Black who can trace their bloodline lineage back to the American system of slavery. To be designated as an FBA, at least one parent must come from a non-immigrant background in the United States of America. I am not an FBA. I am what they would call a tether. Mind you,
100%. You are definitely a tether. And it's not because of your reason and your goofy logic. It's because you are a tether. You fit the definition that we assigned to the tether word. That's why you're a tether. It's not because you're non-FBA, because all non-FBAs are not tethers. But there are some tethers out there by definition, and you are certainly the image of a tether as far as the women tethers. 100% it'll be your picture.
The man who is credited for coming up with this is xenophobic, misogynistic, hates women. Hates women. Hates women. And the fact that so many women are supporting him
Wait, what? What did you just say?
not an FBA. I am what they would call a tether. Mind you, the man who is credited for coming up with this is xenophobic, misogynistic, hates women.
What? Hates women? Yo, they just make up stuff.
Hates women. Hates women. And the fact that so many women are supporting him when he would call you a bed wench. FBAs have been coming onto the internet and telling African Americans to distance themselves from Africa as a whole. My thing is,
what are you talking about? Like, how do you distance yourself from Africa? Like, what can we do today that's going to make us closer to Africa, like physically? You mean distance as mind? Like mind, spirit, and body? Like, how do we distance ourselves? Like, no matter what we do in America, we're still going to be certain thousands of miles, 100,000 miles, or whatever thousand miles away from Africa. Like, nothing's going to draw us closer or further. What are you talking about? Like, we're just minding our own business. Like, we're just focused on us as we should be.
that is incredibly unproductive. Like, who is that helping? Who is that helping?
That's helping us, and it's certainly not helping you guys. And that's the point. We're keeping our funds domestic, okay? Domestically in America.
Let's really think about it. Like, who is that helping? And two, majority of the talking points that they use are white supremacist talking points.
No.
The world is mad because Black Americans, whatever spell we were under, are waking up to the fact that
That's white supremacist
we
talk?
weren't brought here on no boats. Our ancestors weren't brought here on any boats.
Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Not sure how you got that. Okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants, settlers,
I didn't know.
colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look, you don't
yeah.
look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
We not black.
We are natives. This a land we don't know about the spaceships.
What? Okay. So look. And you know what? This in my book? Yeah, this is my book, by the way. Thank you, sis. You're gonna help me promote my book that I'm not selling. It's for free. It's not in the book. It's a small PDF. But I have a section in the PDF just for this. You see how she's trying to play down people who believe they was in this country before the slave ships. Okay, so I got a section here just for that. All right. Let's get to it. I got a section just for that. And so I speak about the Black American Heritage flag up in here. I give that some love. Okay, so here we go, right there. All right, okay. All right. Okay, so past that. Okay. Right here. Understand the criterion for an FBA. Understanding the Pan-Africanist objection. So this is what they do, the Pan-Africanists and the Tether Africans. There is no historical, this is what they believe. There's no historical documentation that says there was an indigenous Black people in America that mixed with Africans from Africa to form FBA. This criticism is often used to discredit FBA as a lineage-based identity by suggesting it includes indigenous, those folks, plus African origin stories that cannot be verified. She believes that, calling the concept pseudoscience and implying it's based on myth rather than historical fact. Okay, what's actually misrepresented? Most people who identify as FBA are not claiming this right here, And guess what? Shout out to the ones who are. But we're just saying most of them are not claiming it, claiming that they're mixed with African, the indigenous blacks, as required. Listen. Most people who identify as FBA are not claiming indigenous mixed with African as a required foundation belief. So you don't have to accept that you came here as slave ships only to be FBA. You don't got to accept you came here on slave ships and you mixed with indigenous blacks to be FBA, and you don't have to claim that you never was on a slave ship and you were always here as an indigenous black person. You don't have to claim either three to be FBA. It's not a requirement. Okay. A specific lineage of Black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved in the United States and who built the U.S. through centuries of forced labor, systemic oppression, and resistance. So the critique uses a fringe interpretation or an exaggerated claim as a straw man to dismiss the broader, widely understood meaning of FBA. So this is the requirement. A specific lineage of Black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved in the United States and who built the United States through centuries of forced labor, systemic oppression, and resistance. So it don't matter if you came, if you went through this as an indigenous black person, if you went through this as an indigenous black person mixed with Africans, or if you came here by way of slave ships and you never mixed with indigenous blacks and you never was it indigenous blacks, all that does not matter. What matters is, can you do you have a I can't even say it. Do you have I'm one of those guys who couldn't say spaghetti, so that always caused me a problem. But all that matters is, do you have a specific lineage, okay, that ties your ancestors to enslavement in the United States, and they are responsible for building this country through centuries of forced labor, went through systemic oppression and resistance. That's the only criteria that matters. It's not about how you got here or if you was here before. That's irrelevant. Do you fit this? That's what make you FBA. All right. So that's in the PDF, Black Think Tank at yahoo.com. It's free. Okay, so that's where she's trying to go. But I can't play the music though. I get flagged. I always get copyrights when folks playing.
Any patterns? I don't want to spoon feed it to you, but you see it. Movements like these make room for more xenophobia. And I have been noticing the xenophobia that's been rising towards Africans in particular. For example, Jay Versace and his tweet when he said that, oh, why is it that you have to look extra African or hella African these days to be a successful model? And there are a lot of people that are defending him like, oh, you know what he meant. No, I don't. What African country are you talking about? Because Africa is not a country. It is 2025. Come on. It is 2025 and people are still talking about Africa like it's a country. You know how
You just did. So family, remember earlier live I did, they are confused on what an African is because they'll make that statement. Why are you using Africa like a country? Well, then nobody's African then, right? Aren't people after their country? Nobody's called after their continent, right? Everybody's named something after their country. Now she's, of course, she's going to use Africa. She already did. She used Africa to name herself and to name people like a country. So they always fall for that trick.
big African country are you talking about? Because Africa is not a country. It is 2025. Come on. It is 2025 and people are still talking about Africa like it's a country. Do you know how big Africa is? I think being in the US, people underestimate how huge the continent is. If you in the South go up north and there are two different accents and sometimes y'all even look different.
Ma'am, we don't care how huge Africa is. You know why? Because that's still not helping you guys stay there. All that space and you still want to leave.
What would make you think that all Africans look the same? If we're really going to talk about it, he looks West African as hell. These things have consequences. You can't just say things and think that they're not going to have a ripple effect or impact anything.
Okay, Aspiring Heights says, peace, FBA News and Updates. That was me that just sent that Myra PayPal. PayPal? PayPal? You sent me a PayPal? Uh, I I I never maybe it went through. I'm not sure, but I never promoted my PayPal online ever before. So I don't know how you got a PayPal of mine. The last time I used PayPal was like maybe like 2017 or 18. Yeah, but I do not promote PayPal online at all. And I could go check it to see if, something went through and thank you. But I wouldn't even know how you got my PayPal. I would love to know how you got it because I never promoted it. I only promote Cash App, and we got the super chat down there. So just make sure that it was PayPal. I meant to say that's my. Oh, okay. I was about to say I hope nobody pretending to be me and they're out there, saying, "Hey, donate to FBA News and Updates PayPal." All right, so let me check. Thank you very much, and let me just confirm. Thank you.
Everything has a consequence, especially now. I also think it's unproductive to respond to xenophobia with hate or like matching energy, because that again makes room for more hate. Like, this doesn't mean it's okay to disrespect African American culture and history. We have to remember to practice discernment. Like, don't lose the plot. Okay, like, keep it cute. Honestly, this is probably the
Okay, yeah, I did receive it. Thank you very much. You got me scared for a second. I was like, oh, damn, they're gonna think I'm baby Umar.
first and last video I'll make about diaspora wars, maybe, who knows. But I know one of its tactics is having people talk about it, but I think the difference is matching energy and just
Oh,
respond
she is just so clever and smart. Your homeland can use that wittiness, okay? Homeland, your homeland can use your creativity there, not here, there.
with more hate versus calling people out and reminding people that these conversations are unproductive and they're a distraction and there are other things that we need to be worried about. Anyways, that's all I have to say. In conclusion, we all need to go back and rewatch Sinners, specifically that beautiful montage. We all need to write a DBQ on that scene alone. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel. And I will see you all in my next one.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, I know women like that. A lot of my friends are Islamic, and these women are bat shit crazy. They live in La La Land, okay? Um, yeah, I would like to say more, but YouTube is sensitive, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, so I'm trying to find this Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Okay. So I'm almost about to take the Dr. Khalid Muhammad approach, but on tethers. You dig? Okay, I'm gonna find this one. All right. So hold on. If y'all don't know who Dr. Khalid Muhammad is, this is him.
Give prayer some clear depth over in New Jersey. The trees, the flowers, the ants, everything.
Okay, this is Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
And the melanin. Green shows it. Okay, and it's a very good topic, I believe, and hopefully we can cover this ground. Dealing with spiritualism, actually it pits the two against each other. Religion, that's quite a subject, and spirituality. Study our ancient history, original black man and woman of the planet Earth, that we are a spiritual people, just a spiritual people. And low-life one. Those among us, no matter what doing, low life among us. It is said, especially by our elders, the wrong position. In the black man, something in the black woman that
This
is
is funny.
spiritual by nature.
All right, watch this.
Bind to
But the white
actuality
man-
and truth, who was taught by that we have. When you study the pineal sites and the Alake just walked in, melanin, and study the pineal gland to the universe, not having that pineal gland. And we understand that white people not having that development of melanin and not having the highly developed pineal gland. Actually, they teach in Western medicine that the pineal gland has no function whatsoever, that it's purpose. Certainly, we know that God makes nothing that has.
This dude right here on post, that's Brother Craig. I used to be in the barbershop with him. Matter of fact, his minister was DJ Focus' dad. Right here.
No purpose
Brother Craig,
in this
right there.
magnificent form called the human form.
So he
Or the
used to always tell us stories about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I used to always ask him more than anybody. I just want to know, like, yo, so what about this? What about that?
human body, everything in this magnificent human. They say that the pioneer, we are finding out that we are finding that person has been is what is called calcified. The root in the universe, God and creator. There's a mental and a spirit. The sun gives light,
Okay.
life, and energy.
Here we go.
Whichever direction the sun is in, you'll find the plant leaning in that direction. Rays of the sun, the life-giving rays of enemy to his and her. The white man finds that the sun is an enemy to his and her existence. And so now they not only have copper tone and man tan, and
hold on.
they have to wear the sun blocker. And they end up with what is called melanoma, setting up a camera of their flesh, some kind of, knew you knew. It's
you
that
go.
D&J crew. And some of you make all the stops, all over all of the boroughs. Can you imagine the devil trying to do it the artificial way? That's
Talking
like
about get melanin.
baking
Baking
a
a
cake.
cake.
You put all the ingredients in the cake, but you leave the baking soda out, the baking powder out, and you put the cake in the oven and it falls. Then you're going to go like a fool and take the cake out the oven and try to sprinkle some baking soda, baking powder, some baking powder really, baking powder on top of the cake after
As
the
those
cake
gonna
has
rise.
been baked and after the cake is already flat in the pan, and then put it back
Oh, shit. My fault.
in the oven as though now it's going to rise because you have baking powder on top of the cake. The baking powder must be an integral ingredient.
So what I'm doing is I'm using that analogy for tethers. Okay, everything he did for the white man, I'm gonna use that for tethers. Okay, they're not like us, and that's because they don't have the baking powder. So all the faking they're doing, that cake is never gonna rise.
In the mixture and the ingredients of the recipe of the cake before it's put in the oven to bake, if the cake is going to look right, taste right, and stand up and not fall down. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't know nothing about baking no cake. You just know how to eat the cake.
All right. So anyway, that's Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Okay, so in case y'all didn't know, I put you on somebody. You go watch his videos, classic videos. He was a student of Malcolm X. Well, like you would say, he never met Malcolm X, I don't believe, but he was a student of Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he was really studied Malcolm X. A student of Malcolm X, you could say, I guess you could say spiritually or in spirit, right? But yeah, a lot of his videos are classics. Like people who are in the woke spaces are familiar with him. So if you ever heard the name Dr. Khalid Muhammad, that's the guy right there, because his name come up a lot in like black nationalist circles or even Pan-Africanist circles, but more so black nationalist circles. Let me see something. Okay, here we are. So this is the lecture. So I mentioned him for a reason, because he said this about white people and being, because he was charged with being anti-Semitic, which he was, okay? But this was his response.
on any talk show or sitting with any cracker and they call themselves hemming me up. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm not anti-Jewish. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti whatever the hell they are. Whatever you are, goddammit, I'm against it, cracker. I know you ain't no Semite. I know you ain't the true Jew. I know.
Okay, so that's how I feel about Tether, who said we're xenophobic and things like that. You know what? Screw it. Whatever you think I am, that's what I am. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Matter of fact, I'm anti what the hell, whatever you are. I'm anti that. You dig? Yeah, peace, Pinky. I don't think that's the one with Nelson Mandela. No, I don't think that's the one. Shot Legacy. Okay, so anyway, yeah, man. So sorry, we had to show you that. Sorry, I had to show you what I had to show you about her, but it was worth it. Now look at Africa's problem. That's why I'm like, yo, whatever you say I am, I'm not. Because I'm just anti. If you're anti-xenophobic, then goddamn it, I'm xenophobic. Whatever a Tether is, I'm the opposite. Okay, I'm taking Dr. Khalid Muhammad approach going further.
Them to slavery as opposed to seeing it as, first of all, why do you believe the white man's history so much? I went to boarding school in Cameroon and I learned that one of the tactics that they used to get Africans in the slaves in the ships, they stole them literally. They would what's the word? They would come to the chief and say, hey, we just need a couple of men to work for this X amount of time, and those men would never come back. I mean, there were so many different sneaky ways that they got people away. Do you think Africans were proud to?
Okay, so
I would like to say something as well.
Okay, so she said she was taught this in a school in Cameroon, that the transatlantic slave trade never happened. So, family, don't let them try to make you feel bad that you believe that you were in this country before the slave trades. Okay, and don't let them make you feel bad if you believe those were here before the slave trade and they mixed with those from the slave trade. Don't make them believe you're crazy and pseudo because they believe the transatlantic slave trade never happened. Now, which belief is more retarded? They believe the trading part is fake. The white man lied to us. The white man just went to Africa and just stole us. Okay? And some of them really believe that. Watch this.
Hold on. Go ahead, Rashad.
You have the women of Dahomey. They were doing it. I think it was 75% of slaves that came through the transatlantic slave trade came straight through there. Matter of fact, they had, if I remember right, they had a tree. They used to have their slaves walk around called the tree of forgetfulness because they didn't want, when them slaves died over there, their spirits to come back and haunt them. They were brutal with their tactics, cutting jaws off, killing.
What are your sources? Where is this from?
Yeah, she said, what is your sources that Africans sold us? That our Africans sold us and white people bought us. She said, what is your sources for that? She's dead serious, family. Oh, it gets worse.
Google.
Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston is one of the greatest.
I have never heard that in my life.
Okay. Zora.
Family, she said she never heard of the Atlantic slave trade in her life. One more time, listen.
Zora Neale Hurston is one of the greatest.
I have never heard that in my life.
Okay.
So I believe that's worse than people saying that, hey, we were here before the Mayflower. You dig? I believe that thought right there is worse and way more foreign. Okay, listen.
Now, the second one isn't a question, just maybe a correction, right? In your previous statement, you alluded that the Africans in America should be appreciated, right, maybe not necessarily word to word, but you say something like that, appreciative of the effort of Black Americans, that it was because of maybe their their sacrifice that Africans were able to come to America. And I disagree with that. I disagree because Black Americans, just as my brother here, Ovie, stated, they did not participate in my effort to come into America. The same.
He said Foundation Black Americans did not participate in his efforts to come to America.
Experience they had. They are the same experience they had. We have did not, but they did not. My brother here, Ovie, stated, they did not participate in my effort to come into America.
And they say that we are illiterates. We don't read. We're dumb. We're not scholars. We don't have college degrees. And this dude just said, he just said that we had no efforts in him coming into this country. These are the smart ones.
The same experience they had, we have same experience. They were our brothers that were kidnapped. We did not sell our brothers. We never sold them to anybody.
Family, told you. I don't know what's going on in Africa, but they're teaching each other that they had no parts in the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, I was gonna make this part of the intro, but I didn't want to be too long, so I'll just do it separate as I go over these African diaspora wars. But they have never sold anybody.
They were our brothers that were kidnapped. We did not sell our brothers. We never sold them to anybody. They were.
I told you, family. They pretend they believe that lie.
Kidnapped. Did not participate in my effort to come into America. The same experience they had, we have same experience. They were our brothers that were kidnapped. We did not sell our brothers. We never sold them to anybody. They were kidnapped and they were lied to. Their descendants were lied to that they were sold. No, there was no money there. We did not exchange them for anything. So they were kidnapped, brought to America. We were traumatized. And when we grew up, we now began to hear the story that our brothers were kidnapped and brought them to America.
So they heard the story. They knew nothing about it. All they know is that one day we were just missing. Damn, where do niggas go? Where does the cops go? I don't know. All right, well, back to work. And then they heard a story. Hey, you heard whatever happened to those guys? Yeah, they were kidnapped. So this is what he's telling the world.
Then we're eager now to go and see our brothers. With love and happiness, we now come to see our brothers, only to be met with hatred or.
So they came over here as asylees and refugees and secretly come through work visas and sponsorships and lottery visas. They did that, H-1B, they did that to come save us. That's what he's saying.
Rejection. Now, our brothers rejected us.
Oh, I forgot. And then when they came to save us, we said, nah, get out of here. Go back home. We're good. Look.
See our brothers. With love and happiness, we now come to see our brothers, only to be met with hatred or rejection. Now, our brothers rejected us. But when we came in, we now find out the truth that actually when they were brought up here,
Okay, so now Michael Blackson is going to try to attempt to explain why they believe that. Why are they going around spewing that lie?
Yes, man, I 100% agree to some of that. And I think what happened back in a lot of countries in Africa were all colonized by different countries. Okay. Ghana, Nigeria, most of these English-speaking countries were colonized by England.
Yeah.
you know.
Senegal was France.
France, yada 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 yada. All right. So when they colonized those countries, you know, I guess when slavery was set up over, they try to like cover it up. In all my opinion, you know, I've been going home and doing a lot of research. Mind you, you know, I'm from there. I was born in Africa. I was born in West Africa, where they came and they took my people and made them slaves and do the, you know, that whole process.
Yeah.
But I didn't know much about slavery till I came to America. So why? Why they didn't teach me this in the 3rd grade and 4th grade?
In Africa.
In Africa. Why was it being covered up? Why are they trying to make things like, and that's the big problem.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to, you know, he said it. Like, why? He said, why do they cover it up? Why do they, you know, try to bury it from the world? Yeah. So, wait, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Yeah. So, thank you so much, Aspiring Heights, for the Cash App love. You dig? Definitely appreciate that. Definitely will be in use tomorrow. You best believe that. All right, so now let me. Okay, so all these lies about us, all this hate, we gotta be uplifted a little bit.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family's been here, you know? Built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, you know, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
I'm always gonna be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this: when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on an African American Olympic team. I competed on an American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
I am not an African American. I'm an American. I am a Black American. I am definitely Black. And yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So
Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't. We're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a Black American. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American and shout that. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American. Because I'm not African.
Very strong.
As I was going back to see, he pointed out for me I could go back when I want to. Go back to where? Huh? Go anywhere
Sir,
you
could you stand up? We can't hear you. Could you stand up over there by the microphone?
You mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? We are not Africans no more. You have raped our great-grandmothers and stuff and changed us. Finish. Let me finish. I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me.
Sir?
Yeah, I remember being called African booty scratcher back in middle school, bro. Even I was calling other people African booty scratchers back in middle
Oh, so Africans were calling people African booty scratchers too. Oh, so it wasn't just FBAs. Okay. So all you Africans and all of you Caribbean people, how do you know when you got called an African booty scratcher, it was by an FBA and not somebody from Africa? How do you know?
school because my mom and dad, they're both from Africa. My whole entire family's from Africa.
His whole entire family's from Africa.
So I can relate to being called African booty scratcher, but I too was also calling them African booty scratchers too. I was roasting them back. You know what I mean? So
Okay, so like he said, he was called African booty scratcher and he was calling everybody else African booty scratcher. So what we said collectively, and we didn't waver, it was correct. We said everybody was calling each other African booty scratcher. It was not some name like a kata preserved just for foreigners, immigrants. All right. So that lie is done. And I always maintain that. Anybody go back with me, I always maintain, like, how do you know it was an FBA? Because they all say we look alike. We all look alike, right? So how do you know there was an FBA calling you an African booty scratcher and not another foreigner? And they never can answer. They never can answer. Now, before we end the night off, this is the last video. I'm about to annoy you with another terrible tether. I'm sorry. So, I started late. I tried my best to start this at 9 and get off about 11:30. But sorry, I couldn't get off. I can't start no earlier. But good news is I will be up early, like 7 a.m., 7:30 the latest going live. And to about, who knows, 10:30. All right. Yeah. So the times are going to be like 9 a.m. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. to about 11:15. And then it's going to be 7 a.m. Well, Saturday might be a little different. I don't know, but just look for it. 9, you could like kind of write in your calendar. I'm trying to set a certain time where I go live, so I'm not all over the place. Trying to get some consistency going on. So 9 p.m. to about 11:15 and 7 a.m. or 7:30 to about 10:15 a.m. And that in between, early morning, afternoon, I'm going to be doing some things. I'm going to be a little busy. All right. Sometimes I might have time, but just look for that schedule. 9 p.m., 11:15 p.m., and about 7:30 a.m. to about 10:15 a.m. That's the time for sure. You probably could catch me. Here's your favorite tether.
We're diverse, right?
Oh, let me do a roll call first. So we got Donnie Williams. Spin the block on my uh I'd rather just call his show to get him, but he's upset right now. So we got Donnie Williams in the building. We got Miss D, 6 Women's Sports. We got Higher Heights. We got Dell Mac Ilwain. We got Higher Heights. I just said that T1 production. We got Carlos Magus, Pinky Wells in the building. We have Claude Zandam. We have Chosen 1619. We got Claude Neely, Francis Amos, #1 in the building. Shot Legacy is there. We got Aspiring Heights. Let's get it 004. We got songwriter Sunny. We got Derek Jones to be he must be here for. I don't know what E-Buzz is, bro. You making up some shit. 4 generations in USA, brother. If you can't tie your lineage to slavery, you ain't nothing in this country other than a visitor. All right. What else is out there? You're just a visitor who been here long. Satchel, Ohio. Peace to you. Polo Styles or Polis. I always say your name wrong. Polo Styles. The Holy FBA Codex TV1 in the building. Who else is in the building? Okay. Then we got Kiel Hall in the building. Inspiring Heights. Okay, yeah, so this is the last video that I'm gonna take it down because I started too late. Sorry. I gave you a tease. But the other disrespectful Tether, I will be playing her in the morning because more people need to see how dangerous she was. She's dangerous too, but the earlier one that's the most dangerous Tether. The snarky, uppity, everybody's dumb but her. Bitty 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 bitty, you dumb niggas, bitty, you dumb niggas, bitty bitty. Yeah, and those Tethers are the worst. Listen to this fool.
We are not all the same, but I have an expectation. I see a conservative, and this is my biggest difference between the conservative Black Americans and liberal.
Oh, before I start the video, we got Jersey Drive in the building. Jersey Drive. Let me give you a lineage wrench, make you a mod family. Enjoy, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check us out in the morning, bro. We're live normally 7:30 a.m. to about 10:30 a.m. and then 9 p.m. to about 11:15. A little later today because I've been doing a lot of talking. Maybe like 11:30.
Black Americans, the conservative Black Americans don't ascribe to collectivism, right? They don't see people as a group. They don't see themselves as a group. They're individuals. They push for the individual rights, individual acknowledgements, individual identities. They don't believe that Black people are a monolith or that white people are a monolith, because being a certain skin tone or color doesn't make you think a certain way, correct? They believe in capitalism, free speech, etc., etc. The liberal Black Americans are the ones who believe in the welfare system. They believe in reparations. They believe in holding all white people accountable for their problems. They believe in zero accountability, socialism. The conservative Black Americans believe in accountability, self-sufficiency. And this is the same difference you will see in Africans as well, because Africans are also not a monolith. And I'm coming to this in a minute. My point is to say that, believe it or not, there's a certain disparity between Africans and Black Americans. And I don't care if that's controversial to say. It is what it is. You may think otherwise. You may think, because I have run into Kenyans in the States who call me the same racial slurs that Americans have called me. The liberal Black Americans have called me. And they call me this because...
Give me an example of a racial slur that you were called by a Black liberal. Again, when they use Black, they use it different from us. To them, Black could be anybody with melanin. So that's not really saying much. To us, Black is exclusive to just people who have a lineage to slavery in this country. So she said Black, that's anybody. But what did they call you that was racist?
Because I dare speak out against the Black community. Why wouldn't I? I'm American. I have every right to. And as an immigrant living here who has lived here for over 11 years and seeing what I have seen, I have every right to speak on it.
Wait, so how are you American? Hold on.
I know it's BS. And they call me this because I dare speak out against the Black community. Why wouldn't I? I'm American. I have every right to.
Okay.
And as an immigrant living here who has lived here for over 11 years and seeing what I have seen, I have every right to speak on it.
Wait. Oh, she got a right to speak on our business. But hold on. This flag right here. Hold on. Shit, man. Ugh. This flag right here. This look like the Eswatini flag. Let me see if I'm correct. Nah. No. It's not. Okay, no, that's not it. Damn, what flag is that? Maybe Kenyan? Oh, yeah. Okay. She's Kenyan. She might have said it, but cool. But she's American, but she's an immigrant. Make that make sense.
Who call me the same racial slurs that Americans have called me. The liberal Black Americans have called me.
Okay.
And they call me this because I dare speak out against the Black community. Why wouldn't I? I'm American. I have every right to. And as an immigrant living here who has lived here for over 11 years and seeing what I have seen, I have every right.
Screen frozen.
To speak on it.
Hold on.
Country where people are not allowed to have free speech or right to protest because they are shot in the streets. So when I come to America and I see people complaining about police brutality, I tell them to shut up, that it could have been prevented if you just complied. As someone who has interacted with a white policeman in America several times, all very, very successfully and peacefully, I know what it takes to have a good experience with a policeman. So don't fall.
She been here 11 years. Yeah, I might have to play this tomorrow too. She been here 11 years and she know what it takes to get along with police officers. Wow. She's good.
For the victimhood. And when I speak out on this, again, I'm called names. I don't hold pride in my skin tone. I don't identify myself as black because I am not a color. I'm an African American.
Thank you. I love when I hear Tether say they're not black. It makes the work easier for me.
But the people who hold so much pride in their skin tone, aka the Pan-Africans, the Afrocentrics, the FBA, all of them will have something negative to say about me and call me a racial slur for who I date and the way I think.
Wait, because nobody gives a goddamn about you. Why she name a bunch of groups in the lineage and say they're attacking her? No, yeah, ma'am, who are you?
Apparently I'm supposed to think a certain way because I am black. So I have gotten into rows with Kenyans who are very much pro-black America and they're, oh, don't speak out against them. You don't know what it's been like. Yeah, well, my country was colonized. I was not personally colonized, but my mother and my dad were alive when the British were still in Kenya. We got independence in 1963 and yet I hold no vitriol against anyone because those people are dead or they're too old to do anything to. So why would I hold the descendants responsible? See where this is going? So holding some kind of vitriol about people who your ancestors encountered seems very, very gauche to me. Don't get this twisted. There is a rift between black Americans and Africans, no matter how much you think there isn't. And this is not to say it's a generalization. Obviously, there are exceptions. Obviously, there are people who, again, like my conservative friends, I get along with them swimmingly well because we share values. But I'm also coming to realize they're not all that way either, because deep down, if they hold any kind of prejudice against Africans, then we're not really aligned, are we? I have seen creators I thought were conservatives and I follow them and I respect them, posting negative content about Africans and generalizing them. That's my worst part. Each time I call out or I rebuke certain ideologies.
Wait, but you generalized too, because you just said Africans. You just said, all right.
I'm talking about a very specific group of people and I say who they are. I'll say who they are and what qualities they have that make me rebuke them. I'll say they hold pride in their skin tone. They don't take accountability. I'll even use examples.
Thank you. Yeah, I just seen the chat. Dale McIlwain. Exactly, bro. They do that all the time. Yo, family, I've been saying that for a long time. I said that these folks, they generalize and then they get mad at us when we do it. So when we say, hey, we're gonna boycott African salons. Oh, which ones? We're all not, from the same country. There's Nigerian hair salons. There are Kenyan hair salons. Why would you boycott everybody when Africa, just a continent, you're not really being specific. Call out the ones who troubled you. It's like, yeah, but the place is literally called African Salon. It's not called Jamaican Salon. It's not called Nigerian Salon. It's literally called African Salon. The hell? So I'm boycotting those people. If it says Italian pizza, whose pizza is it? It belongs to the Italians. Chinese food. Ain't that Chinese people? So an African salon, I know I used to have long braids. They all say that. And I only got my hair done at African salons in Newark because I had two braiders, one FBA, one Jamaican. One did my cornrows, one did my box braids. And I only went to Newark to African salon when those two did not have room in their schedule. So I, at last resort, I went to an African salon. This is way before I had a concept of what FBA is. before I had a concept of like delineating. Like I just never really liked the vibe. I always thought they were weird. Like I thought they was like a dark skinned Chinese person, like a Frankenstein person. Like they're just so off. Like we're loose and we can get down. They were like just stiff. You know, like the men walk like Frankenstein. Like I just never really felt like these my people. So like I had a sense of delineating way back then.
Boy, this
So that's what it said. That's what we're trying to tell Tethers. Like some of us already felt a certain way. We just thought we were alone on some Michael Jackson shit. Um, but when we seen a whole damn lineage basically agree with us, we're like, oh, so I wasn't tripping. Wait, what y'all want to call it? ADOS, FBA? Oh, I'm cool. I call it Ninja Turtles. It's the fact that there's other folks who actually believe like me. I was like so happy because I thought it was just me. And like most of us kept it to ourselves because we didn't want to be quote unquote divisive.
people, I'm talking about the FBA now, FBA black activists, black Americans who have some kind of beef with Africans, they will always generalize. A lot of our differences are because of culture, because we're not the same.
So we got to beef with them. Again, they just make shit up, and it's true.
We're not raised the same way, right? The only thing we seem to have in common is our skin tone, and that's where it ends. But our cultures are different.
Yeah, let me read that. Not black, you're African, right, Pinky? We need to be prejudiced against all immigrants the same way. Yeah, listen, Pinky, I'm trying to not be that way, but like tethers like this, well, at least okay. I don't want to generalize the entire diaspora, right? So I'm a focus on one group at a time, right? So right now, Africans, right? Like I just feel we have nothing in common with them. Like it's too far gone to deal with them. I'll say let's give the Haitians, Jamaicans, and the Caribbean more time. Let us make an example out of these folks, and maybe the island get more in code. But right now, I say start one at a time. I'll say let's keep up the boycotts for Africa. Let's just keep it going and make them the first example. But I feel like we should cut all ties from Africans. Now, of course, you're gonna have an African doctor. I'm not saying go that far. I ain't saying go that far. I'm saying like recreationally, there's businesses and shit like that. I'm sure you're gonna have a cool African at work. I'm not that petty. But I'm saying as a collective, like we're good on that. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know. Dale Mac Ilwain says I have an FBA barber. We are Navy veterans. All right, salute. Thanks for your service. Yeah, DJ Focus, who comes in here, was my barber, but I do have a Jamaican barber too. Kiel Hall says, "Is that the one over on South Orange Ave in Vallisburg?" Nah, this was actually on. This is close. This was on. So one was on Springfield Ave, over by the Irvington Center, and the other one was on Clinton Ave. Was it? No. I'm lying. They all were on Springfield Ave.
Our ways of thinking are different. Africans don't have a race construct that they believe in. Until they come to the United States, it's not black and white and black and white and black and white. Unless you were raised by racist parents.
Carl, you got to call in tomorrow morning, buddy. Tomorrow morning, because I'm shutting this one down after. Actually, she went in. I'm gonna give her 15 more minutes.
Which I wasn't, thank God.
Not a lot.
You don't hold that kind
5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'll finish the rest of this tomorrow.
of mentality until you come to America, and then everything is black and everything is white. Right? Everything is victimhood versus the oppressor. Where does that come from? There are ways to merge, but until these biases are recognized and dealt with, there'll never be any kind of unity there. The differences we have in perspective, right? There we see.
Hey, yeah, it's funny how tethers come over, African tethers come over here and been here for 11 years, and they solved the racism puzzle, right? They solved it. And as a tether conservative, she's about to educate us on how to get past systemic racism. Okay, go ahead.
things. I see life very differently from the way someone who's born here sees life, because they've been raised and brainwashed that to hate their country when I love it here. Because I see the opportunities they refuse to see. Again, the race construct is a big one. My interactions with the police in Kenya are vastly different from my interactions with the police in America.
Hey Carl, yeah, call tomorrow morning, but bro, like really, like we're on different levels as far as what we talk about, man. Like you're a student. You didn't even know when Dr. King was assassinated. You didn't know when Malcolm X was assassinated. It's like yesterday you didn't know. You said the Mayflower, but when it came to Italians, like you're like really not on my level at all. So I'll entertain tomorrow just for entertainment purposes only. I can't take you serious, but do call in tomorrow. People will want a good laugh.
The police in America are much more civil. There's some kind of checks and balances for them and how to deal with them. There's just it's a very different experience. But outside of that,
Hey Carl, I'm gonna give you a heads up, bro. You're not gonna know more Black history than me in this country. All right, so you can stop trying, stop being trivial. You might know this and this little thing, that little irrelevant thing more than me, but overall, you're not going. A tit for tat, you'll never win.
I have noticed this resentment. I would call it an underlying resentment, but it's not underlying anymore, not at least not by the online forums I'm a part of that I have seen. That comes from, I'm gonna say especially, the FBA and the liberal Black Americans. What is the FBA? It's the Foundation of Black Americans. Every Black American, at least most of them, are ADOS, American descendants of slavery, because that's how most of them got here. But the FBA specifically are definitely a pride group. And what shocks me is that there are conservatives who are part of this. They call themselves conservatives, but at the center of it all, they actually believe in collectivism because they see Africans as a collective. They believe in socialism because they want to draw from resources, because they feel they are owed reparations. By whom? And the only reason they vote Republican is because they are anti-immigration. They are anti-immigrants. They do not like me. They hate Africans.
Uh-oh, projection. Well, you're not making a great case for Africans. I can tell you that much. You're not making a great case why we should love Africans. I can be real with you right there. So maybe you're right, but those aren't the only reasons why some FBAs become Republicans. But go on.
Each time I interact with them, all I get is hate. They call us things like tethers.
Ma'am, do you know do you know how we define tether? You know you fit that description. Come on.
And when I say us, I'm meaning Africans in general. No, we're not a monolith, but that's how they see us. I'm going to describe
Well, we are now. We started off looking at you guys individually, but yeah, we're getting restless and we're like kind of fed up. We're kind of just going to tag Africa as a tether. You dig a tether continent, almost like how we did white folks. Like white folks, not all white folks were racist and had everything against us. Some white folks rode with us heavy allies. You dig during the Civil War, during Black Reconstruction, during civil rights, and Harriet Tubman with all that. Yes, some white folks really was down with us. But the problem is the ones who are not down, they're usually more effective than the ones who are down. So ultimately we end up calling them all devils, even though we understood some were not and some were riders. And then white folks even understood why we called them all devils. You dig? And they still kick it with us because they understood like what they did. And they understood why we're not trying to put our hand in a den of snakes and trying to find out which one's poisonous from the which ones who are not. We just assume they are poisonous and just burn the whole bucket. So Africa, yeah, we're starting to rethink Africa. We're starting to just, like we said, the white man's the devil. We're starting to just say Africa are tethers, like everybody, collectively, not individually, like the white man's the devil, not individually, but collectively, because collectively the damage they did was devilish. Well, Africa, we're starting to believe the same about y'all. Like the whole continent is a tether or are tethers because collectively you cause more damage than good. Right. And your case right now, you're not adding to the love. In the words of Charlie Kirk, changed my mind.
That way. It was very shocking for me to see someone I admire who's in the conservative community, and he, ironically, himself has been a target of hate from the left because he's a gay conservative man. And to see him posting this video was really disappointing for me.
Diaspora and all of the tethers.
That may be something for a different day, but I'm just
a gay conservative. Oh my! And you're mad at what? Hey, listen, your accent, ma'am, your accent will block you from all true relationships with white people. So you can wear all the dark lipstick, the all witch, a lot of white women be witches. You can dress like a witch, talk like a witch, all that shit. Your accent will remind them all day long of how much you're not invited. Okay. So they will take you in as a implant, but that ain't working. We're delineating, so you can't even infiltrate. So like you're really just becoming useless to white supremacy.
saying that when you hear the word FBA, don't think that it's only about liberals. Anyone can hold pride in their skin tone, and if you think black is superior and you hold black pride, you're part of the problem, even if you call yourself a conservative.
Okay, so I'm gonna save that right there for tomorrow. Yeah, don't block Carl just yet. We want to have fun with him tomorrow on the live when he call in. Okay, put it down. Open it. Okay, yeah. So let me get out of here, family. Appreciate you guys. I want to get started, get some sleep for an early live tomorrow. Wait. All right. So appreciate y'all, blessings, and see y'all in the morning. Jersey, if Jersey Drive, you up? Tune in, man. Hit that bell, get the message, top it with us. Everybody have a great night. Peace.